Let's go to the UFC. Now, apart from his showmanship, his mouth, the inherently cocky attitude, maybe the whiskey for some, part of what made Conor McGregor a megastar was that he could match that bravado with results. He was 19-2, but he's 3-3 in his last 6 fights, causing many to describe his trilogy fight on Saturday night with Dustin Poirier as a crossroads moment for McGregor. And when you're standing on the precipice of a potential show-it bout, who better to chat with than the man who puts the show in show business himself, Stephen A. Smith.
Yes, he's brash, he's confident, but most importantly, it's because he can fight.
As we sit here right now, just days removed from your trilogy with Dustin Poirier, why are you here?
I love the thrill of it, Stephen. I love it all. I love the fight. You know, am I the hungry lion I once was? You know, maybe not. It's certainly different, but I'm now the fat cat. You know what I mean? I'm the fat cat pulling all the strings around here, and that's an even more dangerous individual.
Well, some people believe, however, that you're not as dangerous as you used to be. They don't feel that way, okay? Because
you know, every time I sit in an interview, it's, oh, why are you here? You've too much money. You're too successful. You've done it all. Blah blah blah. I'm grateful. I'm proud of where I am and what I've achieved. But there's a lot more left in me. I'm still very young. I'm very fresh in the game, and I'm a dangerous man, Stephen. I'm the most dangerous of them all. Trust me. In the mindset I'm in, I'm really, really dangerous. This man is not. It's not going to be pretty. What's going to happen to this man in here?
Let's rewind the clock to the press conferences leading up to the sequel between you and Dustin Poirier. People looked at you and said, you were incredibly nice.
You've got the hot sauce, Dustin. I'm actually I'd love to taste the hot sauce.
I got a bottle for you.
I appreciate that. I've got a bottle of proper for you. I'd love to share that.
You know, I feel almost pity for some people in the game, to be honest. I had a little bit of pity for Dustin, you know. It's not a pretty game for a lot of people in this business, and I just came back and, you know, wanted to be respectful and, you know, give the dues, and, you know, that this time, you know.
Dustin, I'm coming for you, P-head. Silly hillbilly.
You can't be nice in this business, that's for sure. No matter what, in the most ruthless business of all, I am the most ruthless, and that's what it is, and that's where I am.
What happened in the octagon in January?
You know, there was a lot of freebies given. There was a lot of free things given. There was weight on the scales given. There were shots in the octagon given. There was plugs and support given. There's nothing free given this time. Everything is getting took, and that's the mindset here.
I became a fan of this sport in large part for watching somebody like you knock people out.
The only thing that's final in this business is a knockout. All the other the decisions, the taps, all that means nothing to me. I'm coming to take a man's head off, and that's it. You know what I mean? I was aiming to put a few holes in his head the last time. Now I'm going to put a few holes in his head and send it into the bleachers.
What about somebody that looks at Conor McGregor and said, excuse me, sir, that just happened to you? What do you say to them about that?
Yeah, well, here we go again. I'm back.
What's the difference between Conor McGregor that won in 2014 to Dustin and the Conor McGregor that lost in 2021?
You know, relishing in, I'm accomplished, I've done it all, I've got rid of that, you know what I mean?
How did you get rid of it?
Up here, just told myself, just went back in time, you know what I mean? Not even back in time, sure, I lost. It happened. Sometimes a defeat is what you need. A defeat is the secret ingredient to success. You know what I mean? So it's at the taking it out. It's at the taking those accomplishments down my belly, and I'm hungry to get back. You know what I mean? I'm a fat cat that's hungry, and that's a dangerous, dangerous man.
When you lost to Nate Diaz, you disappeared for a little while. You didn't want to do press tours or anything like that. You were focused on avenging the loss to him.
Yeah.
Is that the similar feeling to what you have with Dustin right now? Or is it worse?
Yeah, it's more venomous.
It's more venomous?
Yeah, it's more venomous for sure.
And why is that?
Yeah, just the way things have went. I don't know. Just, you know, another thing, I've not brought my family with me this time. It's hard to go face to face and want to tear through a man and then hold your son or your daughter and give them a bottle, and feed them and this type of thing. So I've stayed away from that for this one, and I feel great. I've not switched roles almost. I've stayed in that mode that I need to be in.
When this fight is over, what will we walk away saying about Conor McGregor?
The greatest of all time. What a dangerous man. Shouldn't have doubted him. The usual.
Win by KO or just to win? Saturday night.
KO, out on a stretcher. This man is gone.
Time to get ready, eat dinner, we'll set the table here for you and maybe help you win a little money. Here's a look at the odds for Game 2 tonight from our friends at Caesars William Hill. Phoenix favored by 4.5 with the total set at 220.5. And after scoring 20 points in Game 1, Giannis's points prop for tonight, 27.5. Chris Paul's is at just 21.5. Apparently, they think he's going to come back down to life a little bit because he had back-to-back 30-plus point games. We'll see what our experts think as we say hello and go back to Phoenix and say hi to NBA reporter Dave McMenamin, who's covering the Suns alongside NBA analyst Tim Legler. Leg, stand by for a second. I want to start with Dave. And I know that we've talked a lot about Chris Paul's first finals appearance, but how is he viewing the opportunity to now take a 2-0 series lead tonight?
Yeah, I talked to Chris yesterday at the media availability, and I asked him, beyond the obvious of this being the first group you got to the finals with, why is this group special to you? And he said, we just have a real team. It's a team where you can't key in on one guy, you can't key on two guys, and everyone is comfortable with their role, and they're able to have a big night. If one guy doesn't have it, someone else steps up. And he said he looks back the rest of his career, he had some special teams with the Hornets. He said the first team he played with the Rockets was really special. He said the reason why this has been able to come full circle is that he's put in work himself. He said back in the day he used to wear a bulky knee brace when he played with the Hornets. Since then, he's worked on his body. He's worked on his conditioning. He said the message from Kobe Bryant rings in his head to this day, where you got to fall in love with the everyday process, and he certainly has.
I was going to say, we always talk about sort of the fountain of youth, and LeBron James is the washed-up king, but Chris Paul's 36 years old, too. No doubt he's put in the work. And now the Bucks, as we say thank you to Dave McMenamin and let him go about his way, Tim, the focus now is on the Bucks. And we keep hearing it at home, how ineffective the Bucks were defensively, right? Particularly defending the pick and roll. And I know you know these numbers, but for the folks at home, Milwaukee was switched 43 times on picks in Game 1. That's the most switches that the Suns have seen on pick plays this entire season per Second Spectrum. And honestly, it didn't really matter because the Suns made them pay. They were much more efficient per direct play when Milwaukee actually switched versus when they didn't switch at all, or when they did that drop defender thing that they got so much criticism for last season. So, Legs, show us what adjustments the Bucks need to make in Game 2 tonight to the tape.
Well, it's funny. Dave talked about Chris Paul being in the fountain of youth. He's going to stay in that fountain if the Milwaukee Bucks continue to give him this little resistance. The disadvantageous switching, I just don't understand how much they did in the first game, because it's exactly what the Suns guards want. And it doesn't always lead to offense for the guards. Here's an example here. There's no reason to switch this. PJ Tucker's on Chris Paul. There's no reason when no screen is set. So now you end up with a smaller guy on DeAndre Ayton in the post. And the best way to get him the ball, high-low action. And I love the instincts here of Cam Johnson. They'll flash. And now because PJ Tucker was fronting, it's a simple dump down to DeAndre Ayton. All of that triggered by a switch that wasn't necessary. Here's another example of this drop coverage. Lopez is taking a look at Devin Booker because that's where the initial action was. But look at DeAndre Ayton on the secondary action. Hits the screen, and then Chris Paul comes off with 15 feet of space. He actually turns down one pull-up jump shot because he really likes to get that shot going to his right for the lean back, and he ends up occupying four guys on the same possession, and all of that was created by the Milwaukee Bucks not having any pressure at the point of attack or where the point of action is taking place. You are going to see an adjustment in Game 2 on the part of the Bucks and Mike Budenholzer, and if you don't, this is going to be a quick series, because the Phoenix Suns guards are too good to let them operate against whoever they want by getting the switch they want, or by giving them that much space coming off the screen with no resistance in front of them, because Booker and Paul are two of the best mid-range players in the league.
We've seen the Bucks look sort of clueless defensively in Game 1s and then sort of sort things out Game 2. So you say that they're going to make adjustments. Will it be enough? Give me a prediction and why.
I like Phoenix again in this one, and there's a couple reasons. I think, first of all, Giannis Antetokounmpo, to me, even though he looked physically pretty good, I don't think he's 100% yet in terms of getting back to his offensive aggressiveness and his flow. He only took 11 shots in 35 minutes. That's just not enough. Now, if he is significantly more aggressive in this one, Bucks are going to have a great chance. I'm just not sure he's there. The other reason I like the Suns, Devin Booker did not really shoot that well. I thought he had a lot of clean looks that he did not take advantage of. And then Jay Crowder had a really rough shooting night, even though he was very good defensively, helped him on the glass. But Jay Crowder's going to have a better shooting night in this one. He's going to put his fingerprints on this game, and I think Devin Booker is going to shoot better. So when you add all of that up, I think the Suns are better in the first place. But right now, I just don't think the Bucks are quite there with where Giannis is physically.
The teams that win Game 1 and 2 win the series like 90% of the time. So there it is, Tim Legler with his prediction on what we'll see in Game 2 tonight in